Hello and welcome to another edition of UFO Video Addicts. Let me give you a preview of what I got coming up in this video. Let's see, the first is like 10 strange lights dancing in the sky. I also have another one of these videos of what looks to be meteors, but meteors don't suddenly stop and go in a horizontal motion. Nor is this same pattern repeated. This is probably the fourth or fifth video, very similar video that I've seen like this. And here's another UFO at Colima Volcano. This is probably the third or fourth video I've done of UFOs around volcanoes. This is this is a very old video. I mean, how young Richard Dolan looks here. But in it, he talks about how, there are entities within the government that are very well aware of what's going on Earth. And, they also know that there's an alien presence here on Earth. Let's see, here's a clip of Dr. Greer. Now, this is from the citizens' hearing on disclosure. Again, I go back to all of these people who are crying about disclosure. Stephen Greer has held two press conferences on disclosure, and Stephen Bassett has also held. I think this was the Stephen Bassett one, but Greer has held a couple disclosure news conferences. But in this clip, he talks about these 26-mile long ships that I'm not too sure if he says that a corporation builds them or not. Let's see. This is just a news clip of or a news story about all of this UFO info that's coming out now. Also have this article here about Pentagon's UFO debris study manager found ET connection confirmed. Yes, of course our government has ET parts. Let's see. This is a article. Actually, it's a video too about these caves that were found in India. And again, look at the architecture here. I mean, yeah, even though this is crude, obviously someone had technology that could cut into rock. So, I always thought that that some civilization or culture must have landed on Earth, and maybe this is the first, or these are the first homes that they built using their technology. And then, once they got settled, they were able to make better habitats to live, which is why then you get, the more precise or precision cut stones. Let's see, and then this is a video about that. And then last is this video. Okay, this one, man, I don't know what's going on with this, but this says videos are now being uploaded showing fibers that squirm inside COVID mask. Anyways, let me just go back to here. Let's check out this video here. Interesting UFO footage 2021, 10 lights dancing in the sky. Now, yeah, I can't play all of this, of course. It's less than a minute. Let me turn this down here. I don't think we want to listen to that music. Yeah, what do I think? I don't know because I didn't see any kind of UFO maneuver. Yeah, obviously, lights in the sky will pique your curiosity, but just lights in the sky that aren't making any what I call like a UFO maneuver, moving real fast, zipping right angle turns. I'm not seeing any of that, so not too sure about that. Let's see. Now this video here, like I said, yeah, this is the type of video I've seen this multiple times. Watch these things. They're just going to suddenly stop. So obviously they're not meteors, right? And they're not flares, because if they were flares, there would be parachutes above here. And then again, this is what, the fourth or fifth video that I've seen like this of these UFOs doing these things. Let's see, this is a UFO at Colima Volcano. I mean, I just did the other one yesterday or a couple days ago at the Popocatépetl volcano. And yeah, here's another one. I think with Colima, I think this is like the second or third, video I've done of UFOs around this volcano. But whatever these UFOs are, they're not coming from other galaxies or from the future or another dimension. I mean, not to say that it isn't possible that there aren't UFOs who are coming from other galaxies, other dimensions, and, maybe even the future. But for sure, these guys are monitoring these volcanoes. They monitor our nuclear facilities, our top secret weapons facilities, because they're monitoring us. They don't want us to ruin or to blow up their home. I'm going to let this all play out. This is like a 2-minute video. But since I found this on Reddit, I don't think I'll get any violations or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and play this all out. Yeah, and this is taken right from a webcam. So, there isn't an opportunity for someone to edit this and, add this in. So that's that. Yeah, again, I add this to the growing list of UFO activity around volcanoes. Let's see. Yeah, this is Richard Dolan. Again, obviously, this is a very old video, but this information has been out a long time. Again, disclosure has been occurring on an ongoing basis, I believe, since the release of the Roswell incident. Anyways, listen to what Richard has to say here.
Echelon of the cover-up of the UFO phenomenon, I still feel that I need to be careful and researchers need to be careful. Who's the actual person at the top of it? Is it David Rockefeller? Is it some member of the Rothschild family? Is it some member that we don't know about within the deep black budget community? Or is it the aliens themselves in one form or another? I guess we can ask ourselves, what is the likelihood that the non-human intelligences that are behind the UFO phenomenon are managing the cover-up to some extent? I think we can say a few things. One, we can say they do not have an interest in being out there, in being publicly acknowledged. They do operate by stealth. I think they've always operated by stealth. So they have an interest in maintaining a cover of secrecy. Toward that end, if I were tasked with doing counterintelligence on the cover-up, I would have to consider the likelihood that they themselves have some role to play in the secrecy.
Anyway, so yeah, Richard Dolan acknowledges that there has to be some type of a ruling entity here on Earth that is in charge of the cover-up. Again, and that's that's pretty obvious. Anyways, let me go on to this next video here. Yeah, here's Stephen Greer, and one thing I know, to me at this point it seems like he's sort of gone off into some strange direction with his CE5 initiative. And apparently he has groups where he takes people out and summons UFO, and there are videos of him actually contacting, or lights do appear. I don't know if that's like a setup or anything like that, but one thing about Greer, and people have to understand, he's a government man. He's a G-man. Remember that. Anytime a president would have to be briefed on this subject, he's the guy in the Rolodex, right? I mean, he's acknowledged many, many times that he briefed Clinton, he briefed Obama, and that's not anything he's lying about, right? Again, people want to say he's lying, but no, he's not. He's definitely the point man when it comes to this UFO stuff. So he is obviously a government agent. So being in a position, he can only reveal the government narrative. He's not in a position to reveal the entire truth. So always understand whenever, or at least when he used to, I don't know about now, but, all of this stuff in the past, Stephen Greer was always speaking as a government spokesperson. Unlike, someone like Kerry Cassidy and Bill Ryan, they were doing their own research. So they didn't have any type of restrictions, like I'm sure like he did, from his handlers, government handlers. But anyways, let's hear what he has to say right here.
Include a special compartmented area of Cheyenne Mountain, where we have witnesses in our team who can be subpoenaed, where that we have tracked extraterrestrial vehicles in our solar system that were measuring 26 miles in diameter. There are also facilities in Australia, a key one being Pine Gap, the so-called Alice Springs facility, which is mostly a U.S. Air Force facility, even though it is in Australia. I recently talked to the Deputy Prime Minister of Australia about this. Also, the Redstone Arsenal and the Marshall Space Flight Center. We have a scientist at the Redstone Arsenal who works under contract for IT&T, who have developed these transdimensional systems. He was under contract with my project to bring these energy devices out, and he was then threatened by a former CIA director and what I call the goon squad that went down there 3 years ago in March. This is just part of the information we have, and this information is on the flash drive given to Stephen Bassett's staff. Then you're all welcome to review. Thank you.
So, yeah, so disclosure has been happening. It's happening right now, and let's see. Here, they talk about this UFO report to be released. Again, they're acknowledging that they're going to release a report about UFO. And it's sort of like telling us, yeah, we're going to tell you that the sky is blue. Yeah, we know the sky is blue. And there's no way that any government spokesperson, whoever they choose, is going to have as much knowledge as someone like Richard Dolan or Linda Moulton Howe or, the number of other UFO researchers that have been being interviewed and, revealing this information for a long time. But anyways, let's check out what these people say here.
With us, this all came out of a coronavirus bill, and now we have this much anticipated report. Tell us how we got here.
So it all started back in December 17th, a few years ago, when the New York Times released an article by Leslie Kean talking about these videos of unidentified objects that the Navy has recorded. And it also included in that article a secret program that the Pentagon was running investigating UFOs. And from that, over the years, a lot of follow-up from the supposed director of that, Lou Elizondo, has been making the rounds. He's been on a lot of interviews, and that's caught the attention of our government, specifically Congress and the Senate. And they had some hearings a few months ago, and now they are requesting a report, and that was put in the last COVID bill, which should come out hopefully in June.
No, there's definitely people in the government who do know exactly what they are, but again, they're never going to tell us. And in this 180 days, I guarantee it's going to get delayed, or it's going to be very minimal information. There's not going to be disclosure because, again, remember that the Lucy cartoon where she gets Charlie Brown to kick the football, and every time Charlie Brown goes to kick the football, right, she takes it away. I'm not Charlie Brown. I mean, I remember when Clinton was elected, they said, "Oh, Clinton's going to be the disclosure president," and nope, no, not that didn't happen. And then when Obama came into office. Oh, Obama was going to be the disclosure president. Nope, that didn't happen. Then it was supposed to be Hillary. Remember the interview that Hillary did on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Kimmel, where she revealed the new term, unidentified aerial phenomenon, but I think she even got that wrong. I think she said unknown as opposed to unidentified, whatever. But anyways, yeah, she was going to be the disclosure, president, and then, Trump messed that all up. But then, even with Trump, where they ask, or his son asked him about it, and what he says, I read something about it, but I don't believe it. Yeah. So in the report, he's reading about UFOs, but he doesn't believe what he's reading anyways. So anyways, and then, now we have Biden. I mean, do you honestly think Biden knows anything except whatever they tell him to read? He's going to read whatever or he'll attempt to read whatever they put on that teleprompter. If he has enough energy to get through that. But yeah. But anyways, they just keep pushing this disclosure down, or the claim of disclosure down the road as they continue to reveal more and more information. But anyways, let me go on to this next video. Pentagon UFO debris study manager found ET connection confirmed. I know everything about rockets, but I don't know what these are. Yeah, here is, an article about the people who have actually worked on UFO debris. Headlines were recently made worldwide with the Pentagon's release of recovered UFO debris test results, documents that were responsive to a Freedom of Information Act request. This UFO debris material has the potential to do some amazing things, as change the speed of light, induced invisibility, act as a memory metal, returning to its original shape when deformed, and to compress electromagnetic energy. More on this can be read here. And when the Pentagon backpedaled that the document actually concerned a weapons program, a rebuttal to that was made in a follow-up article that can be found here. And in this third installment of this investigative series, new findings are revealed that strengthen the case that the Pentagon has indeed studied the materials of construction of UFOs and has begun the artful transfer of technology to academia and the private sector. Again, I already know, all of this has already taken place. I know that we already have anti-gravity craft, right? And if you want to look it up, look up the Aurora, the TR-3B. That is our anti-gravity craft. Anyways, let me go on to this next article here. Yeah, these are some of these, these ancient caves that I've never ever heard of. They're called the Udayagiri caves in Odisha, India. I'm sure I'm not saying that properly, but the caves of Udayagiri are an exquisite illustration of the local art form. These were established by Chandragupta Victa, I'm not even going to try that, after defeating Shaske in the 4th and 5th century AD. See, these were established. They're saying established, but they're not saying they were built, because they probably don't know when they were built. And if there's evidence that they were inhabitants in the 4th and 5th century, there's no indication that they built them. These inhabitants may have just stumbled upon them and decided that this would make a good home. But again, yeah, this goes back to, obviously in the past, there was some type of technology that was able to cut these rocks. Actually, here, let's take a look at this video here. It's only 29-second video, so I'm going to go ahead and take a chance and play the whole thing. Yeah, so that's that. And there's more videos here. I'm not going to play them all though. Okay, now let me move to this last video here that this, I don't know what to think about this. You know, a few years back, there was this thing called Morgellons disease. That's the name I was trying to think of. Morgellons or Morgellons disease, you know, where fibers were growing in and out of people. Well, according to this, it says many videos are now being uploaded to social media showing black fibers that move when coming close to heat sources. Last November, it was reported that mask companies such as 3M will start using nanotechnology within their mask. Okay, wait, let me read that again. Last November, it was reported that mask companies such as 3M will start using nanotechnology within their mask. When the COVID-19 pandemic struck, 3M announced it would boost global production of N95 masks to more than 1 billion per year. Mask facilities in China also ramped up, increasing their capacity by nearly 12 times. Well, anyways, let's watch this video here.
Under a mask, and this appears to be from a second source. We already saw this before with a lab test swab. This looks like it's a brand new mask that's being opened up and put under a microscope. And you can see, just like we saw before on the test swabs, these weird black strands that seem to have a life of their own, making movements just absolutely horrifying. This was posted on the Julian Media House TikTok account. And here's the footage from the last video, full link down below. They pulled it out and put it under a microscope, and there's all these little black strands that moved towards heat and reacted with water. And now we have here with the masks a similar observation made by apparently a secondary source. So let me play all the clips. Just absolutely horrifying. So why are there all these little black strands that move around on both the masks and the testing swabs? This reeks of an agenda, an evil one. So as you can see, these moving threads or parasites or whatever these things are very similar from the mask to the swabs. Please let me know in the comments down below or email me at timtruth@protonmail.com if anybody has any information about what these are.
I mean, yeah, is it some type of fiber that just reacts to heat? And you know, I mean, I don't think there's anything strange about fibers that move next to heat sources like your nose and your mouth. I mean, but you know, I mean, I'm just a crayon-eating autist with diamond hands, so what do I know? But anyways, that is going to be it for this video. If you like things like this, please give this video a thumbs up. Please share this video, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'll have more things like this. Take care.